Anyway, yo, it's your boy Rambo is talking here right now on the episode of the Sit Down. Today I got the man LikkleDots in the building. Wagwan.
Yes.
We're there.
Yeah, we're there.
Hey, we're there. Obviously, we got the cups now. We got everything looking bougie now. We're there. We got Brandon behind the scenes. Everything steady, man. So straight into it.
Yeah.
Talk to me. Talk to me about how you started as a producer. The story. Speak into the mic.
This one.
Bring it closer if you want. You can bring the whole thing. Yeah.
I first started, or like, probably got into it first, in like school. I think I was like year 8.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, my sister was going sixth form at the same school as me.
Yeah.
But it was a thing where I couldn't go home by myself, so I'd have to wait for my sister to then go home.
Yeah.
And she was doing like some music after school thing, and I was just chilling inside the music room. I just saw GarageBand. I thought, you know what, let me try a little something.
Mm-hmm.
And then literally, I wasn't even making a beat. I was literally just putting loops that had, like, stuff that had already been there and just put it together. And I did like some next choir thing, and like I put like some trap drums on it. Everyone was getting gas. Like everyone in the music room was just getting gas. I was like, oh. Like, I felt like the man, so I'm thinking, I want to do this when I get home. Like, I literally just went home and I tried to find like some producing programs, but I didn't know about any FL Studio, so I ended up going on some online producing thing called Audio Tool. Okay. And from there, I was just patterning on there, and then I just switched on after. Mm-hmm. I was on that for like 3-4 years.
Right down. How old were you at that point?
I think I was like 13, 14.
Okay, so you're young buck.
Yeah.
Oh, right then.
So literally, I was just trying a little something. I was messing, like, all that time I was just messing about.
Yeah.
I knew I wanted to do something, like, because I was running away from music for time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I didn't want to be involved in music and that. Yeah. And then it's like, I sort of just came up and, like, came back again. You know what it is? My siblings, so if they don't play an instrument, they sing. Mm-hmm. So when people knew my family and they would see me, they would ask me automatically, "Oh, can you sing? Can you play?" I didn't like it, so I was like, "It's annoying." So I don't. I play ball. Just because that word, like in my head, I saw it as like, just because I'm their sibling, don't mean I have to do music. It's like people expected me to do music just because I was their sibling. Like obviously they say like the youngest are most rebellious, but me, I just didn't want to be like, I wanted to be different.
Not
outcast, but like just different, innit? Yeah. So then, like I just tried running away. My mom ended up got me into like playing instruments, and I went through probably every single instrument.
So what did you play?
I played flute, saxophone, trumpet, guitar, piano. Nah, do you know what it is? That's how mad it is, because I was on it and off it after like 2 weeks.
Okay.
And this is in primary school.
Yeah.
So
I did the flute in primary, it was meaty.
Then I went from guitar to piano and then back to the guitar. And I knew guitar wasn't for me because I smashed like 3 guitars or 2 guitars or something.
Rock and roll thing, innit?
And then I went back. After piano, I think that's when I went into bass guitar. I think bass guitar was the one that I was on for the longest.
Yeah.
And then I stopped doing bass guitar because I was thinking, I'm paying for these lessons and then they're giving me like stuff to practice at home. And it's like, cool, I'll come back. And if I made a mistake, he'll tell me I'm not doing it properly. So I was getting detentions for not paying it properly. I think, but I'm paying for the lessons. Like, what do you mean? Word. So I'm paying to get detentions. What? That makes no sense. So I said, nah, I'm not doing that anymore. Yeah. Like, because I'm thinking, if I feel like at the time, it was like my dad would say, "Oh, if you don't enjoy it, then don't do it," sort of thing. Yeah. So I'm thinking, like, to be honest, I don't really enjoy playing, because it's fun to play. Like with me, it's like I like to learn by myself. So if you used to give me a guitar and I was just chill in my room, I would learn it, I'll bang it out. But if I was to then go into a lesson and take lessons, I'm not on it. So that's when I was like, with producing, it was calm, because I'd come to school and try a little something and I got gassed, and then just be able to just chill at home and just make beats like by myself, without no one trying to tell me or give me homework or nothing. And then I'll just go on YouTube. I'm seeing all these man making. I think I saw Metro Boom was popping at the time. I'm just seeing him doing tours and that, like, and that's when I started studying him. I was like, when it really changed, it was one summer, and I think he had like a Vice documentary. and he was just on tour, like playing his own beats on a tour. And I'm thinking, nah, that's lit.
Hard,
that's
innit?
lit.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the crowd's going wild. Like he's selling his own merch and everything. I'm thinking, nah, that would be lit. If man could do that as a producer, that's lit. Like, cause these producers are moving like artists. Like this looks like a lit. You know how it's like, man will see a rapper with bare chains. Like, I'm seeing like these producers with like all this stuff. I'm thinking, this looks like me still, even though I didn't mind being behind the scenes at the time. You get it? So it was like, I could do both sort of thing. Like if I want to chill behind the scenes, just make beats, then I can do that. But if I want to go and do shows and just play my own beats, that's lit. I don't mind doing that.
No, definitely.
So yeah, that's pretty much how I got into like producing, really.
And what did you like doing all them instruments? Did it help you when you got to the producing? Like you understood music?
I would say it helped me a tiny bit at the beginning, but more into my producing career. The learning the instruments helped me out now more than the beginning.
All the keys and
like
things there.
Because at the beginning, like I'll be real, I still don't know the like keys and that like off the top of my head.
Yeah.
But I'm a person that does music by ear. So if I was to like be playing a beat or whatnot, and I wanted to add something in, I'd know what I want it to sound like. Or if I wanted to do like a chord progression, I know what it's gonna sound like, sort of thing, without knowing what chords it is.
Yeah.
But learning the instruments helped at the beginning because like I was able to clock on to timing quick, because like I don't know, bare man, their first beat, everything is off beat. The snares will be hitting at some random place. Like I don't. Yeah, it sounds
nah. I hear you.
But I managed to clock on to a lot of things very quickly. And then but now it's like, for example, I like being a producer. It's like having that extra like stuff when playing the instrument and whatnot. For example, I'll be in a room with like 5 other producers, and we can all do drums. Like everyone in the room can do drums, but who can go on a keyboard and just quickly play a little something? That's what adds value to the producer, like being able to do something that a lot of people in the room can't do, like sort of thing. Yeah. So yeah.
What did you think of the flute though? I hear you talking about the flute. See, when I was in primary, I was in primary. I had a little music too. There was like you could pick the flute, saxophone, or trumpet. So all the man them have picked the trumpet. And the saxophone. But I see all the galley getting the flute. So I'm thinking the flute's where it's at. Bro, the flute is hard.
It's
on the other instruments, you got the a reed or something?
Bro,
that you blow.
Yeah, that little.
You gotta do some techie blow. Pause. You gotta do a mad one. Like, fam. Like when we was doing songs and that, I was pretending like I was minding. I wasn't even playing. Like, I'm just like, bro,
when everyone's playing, when everyone's
like,
playing, you're just pretending.
I couldn't clock it because it's like you're whistling in it basically. Yeah. I was like, nah, I just went with a man and just, you know what I'm saying, saxophone on a mad thing looking mad cool.
Me, I was like, when I was doing the flute, I was stuck on Mary Had the Little Lamb, and everyone's on these mad things.
Bro, you got further than me, man.
I couldn't do
it. Dude, sign language, boy.
I think it was so embarrassing because, do you know what it is? He's like, at the time, I just did like you. I just did it because there was like bare people doing it as well. So I went and did it, and then the worst thing is, they said that we was gonna do it and we was gonna perform something. Yeah, bro, please tell me. You know them ones here where all the kids are there and there's like one person that's just out of key. It's like, you know what? Halfway through I was saying, nah, let me just pretend like I'm playing the something. You get me? That's why I was like, nah.
I ain't got that. What about inspirations though? Was any inspirations that coming up that made you want to do beats? That could be either a producer, like you said, Metro Boomin, or even just like family members.
Yeah, like in terms of inspiration. Like, in terms of big producers, like, it was like, I was watching Metro Boomin heavy. Yeah. Like, I think a lot of people would say, like, other producers, but man, when I would jump on YouTube, it was always, Metro Boomin. And I think at the time, because when I started coming in, like, properly, it was like the drill scene was popping up. So you had, like, Heady One. So at that time, it was M1 and MK. Yeah. Like, them two went after I think the one beat that I studied was, like, Golden Boot. Okay. That beat is so crazy because like 808 slides and that was a new thing to drill, like, because before it was just more like just one hit thing with the 808 would just stay the same rather than just sliding up and down. So when I heard that and I'm just seeing it going off in parties, I'm thinking, nah, like me, if once I hear a good song, I want to, like, in my head it's like I can't go to sleep not thinking, oh, how did that person make that beat? Like, how did they do it? So I'm there listening to it, seeing how I can sort of
reproduce.
Yeah, not reproduce it, but like get the same get as techie as my man. You get. So then that was for it. Like in the big side, but even then, before like I only deeped it after, but my cousin's 6 and 5. So there was like
6 and 5.
Yeah. So it was, there's I think it was 6's birthday, and he had like a barbecue at his house, and I didn't like he had like this big deck and sound system and whatnot, and then he was like, oh yeah, let me just play you a couple songs that I'm working with, like one artist that I'm working with, plays a tune, please tell me he's playing Stormzy and that. So at the time he's working with Stormzy.
Who?
6.
Who's 6?
He's
the producer.
Like engineer.
Oh, he's an
engineer. So engineer, yeah. So he was like, yeah, I'm working with him, but I think he was producing at the same time as well, that time. But he's trying to think something. But yeah, then I'm thinking, right, like it's kind of hard. Then a couple months later, shut up. Yeah, like, no, you know what it is now? Because I'm like, I think this time I was like 8 years old.
Oh,
so this is way before then.
Okay.
I mean, I think I was in media one time. Okay. And then I see Shut Up come on YouTube. It's getting millions of views.
Yeah.
Then a year later, I'm seeing my cousin with Stormzy at the Mobile Awards or something. I'm thinking, that's lit. I can't lie, this is kind of lit. And then at that same period, I'm a big Nines fan, so I was listening to like a lot of people in my school was like playing Nines or whatnot. So I'm thinking, oh, who's this guy? Like, I go on YouTube, I was seeing some Porsche and that. I'm thinking, right, so cool. Then only to find out I'm listening to the beats. So I'm just hearing 5 beats. I was like, I swear I have that name before. And then after, I think he did one challenge on some YouTube thing. I'm thinking, wait, that's my cousin. I'm looking at his
that's man from the family.
Yeah, no, he was on some competition. Battle of the Beatmakers. So he's in Canada, and then he got to like the finals of the competition. These times the judges were like some big producers and whatnot. I couldn't remember who the judges were, but it was like some big producer. You had like Jay-Z's producers and etc. Okay. And he got to the finals, and I think the girl beat him, and then the girl that beat him is now Travis Scott's producer, produced for Jay-Z, like that same. I think that same period she produced for Jay-Z and whatnot. And I'm thinking, raw, like. Because it was like a long series, like producers going after producers and whatnot, and like I just remember sitting on my stairs and just watching the whole thing. I'm saying these beats are slapping. Like, I haven't heard anything like this. And then he's come back, and then what was it? Trapper of the Year comes out. I'm thinking
he made the beat for that.
Yeah, he made the beat for Trapper of the Year. He did the intro as well. So I'm thinking, right, he's on the whole mixtape. Like he's doing it. Then I'm seeing him at shows. I'm thinking, nah. Yeah, this is exactly like same thing as like Metro Boo. I was like same thing with him. I'm seeing him on tour with Lines and whatnot. Like I'm saying, this is lit, and that's local. So it's more like possible. Like in my head, I'm thinking, bro, if my cousin's doing that, I could definitely do this. Like
so
this
5 beats, and you said 6.
6, yeah.
They're brothers.
They're brothers, yeah.
And they're both. So one of them was doing Storms, one of them did Nines. And your little cousin seeing
exactly.
Right. So you said okay then.
Yeah. So in my head it's like cool. Like at the time my siblings were singing, my brother was playing drums, sisters playing piano, and I'm thinking, nah, I want to try something completely different. But I know that like if I was to sit down and spend all my time doing this, I'm gonna make something out of it. So I'm saying I'm not doing anything else but this. Like I know that after, like in my head I thought after school's finished, man's gonna go straight into producing, nothing else. But then after school finished, I learned I had to go to college. So in my head, I'm thinking, let me just go college to waste time and then do producing. After that, I'm not touching. From year 7, I knew I was not touching uni at all. Like in my head, my mum was like, "Oh,
made
so
the right choice."
My mum was asking me, "Oh, like from year 8, what do you plan on going to?" I said, "No, I'm not going uni." Nah, it's not that.
She cool with that though.
You know what she said? It was a thing where, even to this day, she still pushes me to try and go uni, but that's only to get more knowledge. Like I said, with like playing the piano, you can have like 5 bands that be able to do drums, but you're more like efficient if you know how to like play the keys or have more knowledge than the next man next to you. So I hear it, but I'm not going, like in my head I'm thinking going to uni whilst producing is only going to slow me down because I need to be inside the studio.
Yeah, no,
100. Like that's the thing.
In these streets.
Exactly. How did you get me? You get me?
Nah, but obviously your family and I know you. It's more like the gospel-y music. And what was it saying when you come and you started slapping on some drums and that? Talking about ching ching ching. What was it? Was it calm? Like was it this? No, music's music.
Nah, it wasn't calm. So I can't lie. I remember, bro. I think there was even one time I quit producing. I think there was one point where I quit producing at one point because of it. Because it was like at this point, I think it was like 2016. There was like one summer where like the stabbings were hectic. So imagine all that going on, and I'm saying, I want to produce drill and that. I want to produce for a guy that's got a blue tick next to his name, but he's talking about, I want to shoot this person, that person, and they like when you see the thing with my dad, it's like cool. It wasn't even like an argument thing. It was more like a debate in a sense where it's like, all right, cool. Like I want to do this, but like, I'm coming like a politician because I'm saying, all right, cool. This guy's talking about stabbing, this, but by me working with him in the studio, he's more in the studio than in the streets. And if he's more successful at, like in music, he's gonna have to choose between one sort of thing. It's hard to live both lives, sort of thing. So it was like because he's coming from a different age group where he's probably looked at like the Jay-Z's and said, "Alright, cool." From what he's talking about and what I'm working with now, it's like I'm trying to get him to understand what the music is like now. Although there may not have been a major difference, but still, time period from now to back then is completely different. And especially when social media, probably what he would see on like the news and on like social media is completely different to what I would see.
Yeah, no.
It was like, a whole week of just going back and forth. And then it was like, it got to a point where I was thinking, all right, cool, if I really want to do this, then I'm just going to have to do it and just show them
the results. And
exactly, that sort of thing, that I can do this without getting involved with that sort of person. But then, I would say that with that came a lot of like wisdom with it, because it was like, all right, cool. I don't want to completely get myself involved with too many men that are living that life sort of thing, especially with like I've come from a place of church, so it was sort of like being wise and always praying, to be honest, because it's like you could be having all this success and just make one wrong move or say the wrong thing and his life's completely turned over.
100.
So yeah, literally.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
You won in the end, and
literally.
But, producer tags obviously is an important form of marketing for a producer. Like, you got the Weezy out of here. You know what I'm saying? You got the Quincy Talent. You know what I'm saying?
That was hard.
Your thing's hard. Was that your first ever one, or did you have one before?
Nah.
What was your first one? What was your first one?
I had, because I think I've had like 5 different tags.
5.
But you know what is, I'd started getting tags at the right point.
Okay.
Because when I got my tag, I wasn't really getting people listening to me. So it was a good time to try out different ones. The first one that I ever had was me just saying it in the mic. And it was like proper deep, like LikkleDots. But my name wasn't even LikkleDotzOTB, it was LikkleDots Productions.
Okay,
So I just recorded it on my earphones and whatnot. I just put it in, and it was like bare weird, like. And it was proper weird because when I used to play it, like there was one point, I think it was like a youth service or something at church. And I must have played my beat, and everyone thinks, what kind of devil voice is this? It was bare low, and that I felt bad. I felt so bad, and it was like, let me change it. And then I must have asked one of my brethren to like see if he can get any like girls to just record it. And then like I had one girl do it, and then she patterned it, and then I used that for like a couple months. Yeah. And then the third one that I had, I think this is when I really started to get like, not even people, but like just the man then recording on my beats or whatnot. And one of my guys was just in the studio, and I was like, oh bro, just try a little something. Just say LikkleDotzOTB or LikkleDots on the beat. Just try tagging it. And he's like, oh, which one? And I was like, try out LikkleDotzOTB and then try out LikkleDots on the beat. Yeah. He's like, because when I told him what's LikkleDotzOTB, he's like, what does that mean? I was like, LikkleDots on the beat. He's like, oh, okay. So he just was on. He's like, oh, play a beat, and he was like, I think it was like a drill beat or trap beat or whatnot. The engineer was just playing it, and he was just saying LikkleDots on the beat. LikkleDots obviously bare times, and then what happened was the engineer picked out the best ones, and basically it's the best one out of the OTB and on the beat.
Yeah.
But he put it together so that I could just cut it.
Yeah,
but me, I'm thinking, oh, he wanted me to repeat the tag, LikkleDotzOTB and then LikkleDots on the beat. Yeah. So I literally just left it as that. So I'm thinking, oh yeah, the two tags are supposed to be together. But then I just put it in. But then what I realized was when I was playing beats now, people are remembering who I am because they say, oh, they hear LikkleDotzOTB, and they're like, what does that mean? Then 2 seconds later, it's like LikkleDots on the beat. So it's like, oh, I think, oh, might as well keep it. And then I think it was like recent. I think it wasn't recently. It was like last year. It's still pretty recent, but I was chilling with Five and Quincy Tellum in the studio. They was grilling me about my tag because they was like, bro, like you're not an internet producer. Like your tag sounds kind of childish. I'll keep it real. I felt proper bad. I was like, no, let me just do a whole rebrand and just get a whole new one. So I just found one website and I just paid like I think it was like $25 or something like that. Yeah. Just get on America. I mean, she's like, I had to fully describe how I wanted to say. I had to flip it and do a voice note and say how I want it to sound. And she's like, little dance. And then after she sent me it back, and I was thinking, yeah, this is calm, like just short, snappy, and you can hear everything. So it's like even then, when I had the tag before, it was all UK accents. Yeah. And now when I've gone to places like America now, and they're like, oh, what's your name? I'm like LikkleDots. They're like, Nicholas? What? Bro. I said Nicholas. So when it's in like an American accent, it's like easier for a lot of people because it's like they know how to say it rather than just read it and they're like, oh, lickle. Yeah. It's like, it sounds, I don't know, it sounds a bit weird, but yeah. But yeah, that's
the one you got now then?
That's the one I got now.
Okay.
So yeah, like it's been through quite a run with tags, not gonna lie.
Who do you think's got the best tag in the UK?
In the UK?
Couple names.
There's one, oh cool. I can't lie, there's two of my favourites. There's Money Every and Chris Rich.
Okay, yeah.
Money Every's tag is, I don't care what anyone says. That is one of the hardest tags. It's like Mom, Money Every's making beats again.
Nah,
that was crazy. And then I love Chris Rich. That was hard.
That one's the one that you never forget.
Exactly, because you see, I don't know what it is. Just when you hear that just before the drop, I don't know, it slaps. But yeah, that one there is brazy as well. What other ones in the UK? Nah, I think those are probably
hard still.
Those are the hardest for man. Not gonna lie, yeah.
And then obviously in the US you got
the US is endless list.
There's too many in it.
Too many word.
No. Mad. So you started on making beats on YouTube.
Yeah.
So you'd say you was like a YouTube producer.
Yeah.
Putting like free beats type thing.
Yeah.
What was that like?
Do you know it was hard? Because like at the beginning, it's like you see with producers, it's like no one really cares about what you do unless you work with someone big. Like for example, like I could be working with Amanda, and it's nothing much to other because my target audience was mainly producers. Like when I post on social media, I'm targeting it at like mainly producers and then artists and then other people that just enjoy music. But doing YouTube, it was like, alright, cool. I started to realize I had to use like what I was studying to my advantage. I was instead of studying music, I studied media, and in media, so I forgot what it was, but they teach you about the psychology of how people think when they see stuff.
Okay, yeah.
So it was like, alright, cool. I was laying out certain things. I had like a little trial and error with some of the uploads on how to put certain titles, certain places, what images to use or whatnot, what colours to use, Redditaire. And then again, like producers don't really care. So when I'm sending them out, it's like producers won't share it because they want to keep the artist that they've got to them rather than another artist seeing my things and just liking me for me sort of thing. But then it got easier the more I put myself out there. So whilst doing YouTube beats, I was going to youth clubs, like kept going to this youth club and just doing sessions with the artists there and whatnot. And then that's when they've gone home and I've like sort of forgot to send them beats, they go into my YouTube page.
Okay,
And then again, like there was one time it's like, alright, cool, how can I sort of progress as a YouTube producer? And then what I did was I sort of like found artists that I wanted to work with, and at the time it was like Skengler and AM. But I knew because they was hot at the time. I thought, you know, instead of getting to them directly and just like wasting time, let me work with one of their bridges, and then when they're promoting the song, they're hearing the beat, so I know cool. So I was working with like Loud22, which is one of their brethrens, and then the songs come out, and he's done a video to it. So then when the videos come out, I've gone in the comments and said produced by me. So when people are seeing it, they're coming back to my YouTube page and just pre my beats. So I just kept doing that, and it's like the YouTube page kept growing, and then like from there, it's like I started to realize I was getting more people around the world just hearing my beats, and I was like, it's only recently that I'll be sitting on Instagram or something, and I'm just seeing like a Portuguese don just doing a whole music video on my beat, or I think like one of my favorite ones was like with Siggy Black.
Okay.
Well, no, actually, no. One of my favorite placements from YouTube is probably Lil Ras. Yeah, that one was from there. That was from YouTube still. Yeah, that was he like literally. I think there was one time I just saw someone shout him out on Snap, and the time that I added him, I literally promoted my YouTube page. So then 2 days later, he hits me up. He's like, "Oh, how much is it for this beat?" I told him the price now. He's like, "Alright, cool, say nothing. Like, I'm gonna pattern that." Then like a week later, sends me the song. Turns out the guy that was recording it was my brethren, so he sent me the mixed version. This is kind of hard still. See the video, and I'm like, all right, this is kind of hard still. And everyone, like, I think that's one of my favorite songs from Lil Ras, and a lot of people remember me because of that song. So like, when I'm out in the ends, they hear my name, like, oh wow, you produced that Lil Ras song, I'm like, this still. But yeah, that's probably one of my favorite. And then after that, there's Siggy Black from America. Again, I think the engineer is Slayeron. I think he was just on listening to my YouTube beats or whatnot, and I don't know if Siggy Black was there at the time, but he heard it and just jumped on it, and then just patterned it and just being released.
So which one was your first YouTube beat sell?
Oh,
do you remember your first sale on YouTube?
Yeah, I do as well. I actually do because it was a time where I wasn't getting any sales off of YouTube. So there was just one guy that hit me up on Snap. He's like, "Oh, how much is it for this beat?" I said, "It's in the description." He's like, "Okay, what's your details?" And he was like one, it was like one, I think it was like one rap beat.
Okay,
Yeah, it was a rap beat. I was like, oh, raw. And I can't lie, I was gassed. Even though it was like £90.
Yeah,
he said,
first sale was always...
First sale, I was thinking, like, man can get used to this.
No, I'm saying we're rolling now, man.
And the thing is,
JD next day, like...
the craziest thing is, the beats that I was getting, like, hardly any views were the ones that were getting sales.
Okay.
So it was like, that was sort of my selling point, because I see a lot of rappers at the time, they were complaining that, they can find a hard beat, but too many men have touched it. So they can lease the beat and not pay much for it, but know that not many men are going to use it because it's only got, like, 300 views. And even now, like, I still get a little bit of, like, I get, like, probably, like, 900 views on a beat on average. And it's like, I still have people just saying, oh, yeah, like, you need to drop more beats, like, but I can't lie, I don't want to do the YouTube thing anymore. Like,
so you trying to transition now?
Yeah,
you
like
prefer making beats, like maybe for the artists in the studio.
Yeah, literally, because it's like, you see, when you're on YouTube, you hardly you don't have as much control with it as much. Whereas like if I'm in the studio, it's like, cool. I know I've recorded the song with you, or I know you've recorded on it. You sent me the song. I know what it's doing with it. Like then your management hit me up because they've actually dealt with me. They know how I am as a person, so it's easier for you to conversate with me for some reason. And then like from there, it's like I'm sort of involved with what's happening until the release. So it's like, okay, we're gonna do with it. We want to restructure it like that way, blah blah. Like, what do you think of the music video? And they're like, cool, we're gonna release it on this date. Like we think this one's gonna be good. Whereas when it's YouTube now,
you don't know who's got your beat. You just see it out one day, like
I just it's like I only know that the song's out when I get tagged on Instagram to say, produced by Like, so I was like, like that's why I really prefer, like, just being in the studio.
And then there's a side of you like catering to the artist that you're making a beat for.
And even that's what I'm saying. Like that way, is like when I'm in the studio, I can like sort of get a sense of what the artist wants. So it's like I can, like when I'm in the studio, it's like I know that if I'm working with this artist and he tells me what I want, he's gonna leave with a song that he wants to release. Whereas with YouTube, it's sort of like, cool, I'm just making a hard beat, but I'm just putting it out there, hoping that someone likes it, sort of thing. Whereas when I'm in the studio, I know the artist is gonna like it because it's asked for.
Because he's had that impact.
Yeah,
as well,
exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So yeah, but not to say that like there are a couple YouTube producers that I know that are still killing it.
Chris Rich still does YouTube,
like
innit?
Chris Rich, right now, Kaza, Swidham, who else? I know BK is touching it. Here and there, Ghosty. Yeah, like the list goes on.
Big boy names there still.
Word.
Big boy names.
Well, yeah.
You touched on it a little bit before, but like, where was that moment where it clicked to you? Like, cool, this is my thing still.
Okay, alright, I knew. Like, when I fully made the decision, I was like, this is what I'm gonna do. I think it was 2018
Lovebox, what, the festival?
Yeah, so I performed that.
You did it.
Yeah, the main stage.
The
main stage. Because the youth club that I was working at, they gave us an opportunity. Bolo Youth Club, South Acton, So I was going over there for a while, and then they was like, Jamal Edge was giving us the opportunity to perform at Lovebox. So we're gonna do like a little camp thing, just get a couple songs together. I ended up producing for my guys. Still had like 6 songs produced by me on the stage, on main stage. So I was thinking, like this is kind of lit. So cool. I'm just thinking like I've then from that point, that's when I was thinking, okay, let me see what Lovebox is saying, because I've heard of like all these other festivals, but I've never heard of Lovebox before. So I've looked at the video. I think the year before, Skepta performed, and it just looked live. So I'm saying, I can't lie, I'm kind of gassed.
Big fish still.
So cool. I've turned up now, and then we was there first. Like we was on there first in the morning, and like we had like a crowd of people just there watching us and whatnot. And then cool, I was on decks, DJing the songs that I produced, and then cool, I've come off now, and then we've gone back to the VIP lounge and whatnot, and then Tion Wayne's like, bro, that beat that you did was hard.
Do it out.
I'm thinking, swear, like, I was like, where are you performing? He's like, I'm at Red Bull stage. And in my head, I'm thinking, wait, so Tion Wayne with all these millions of views on Red Bull stage, but I myself, who hasn't even got a song out there on digital platforms, just did main stage. I'm thinking, this is mad. Then cool, I've seen Tion Wayne gone past. Next to her is Trilly Banks. Then Chip comes in. Then who is it? Maya Jama was there. I'm seeing Novelist, Scraps, J Styles. Then I'm seeing. Then cool. That was them. Look. Then I've gone to another stage. I've literally just spoke to M Huncho. Who else was there? Big Zoo, Kenny Allstar. Like I'm thinking, this is mad. Like in my head's blown. I remember I had a headache at one point because I was like, nah, this can't be real. I'm thinking, nah, this is mad.
Star-studded.
I'm thinking, nah, this is crazy. Then because what was so mad is that the artists that I was seeing that I was getting gassed at, they saw the main stage badge and the VIP thing. So they're thinking, bro, who's this kid? Sort of thing. Then that's how the conversation started. But that's when I realized it was like, that was my thing. Because when I see like big celebrities, at that point, I thought, these lot are probably gonna move bougie and like, they want to talk to me. But every single person that I met was just normal. Like, it was just like me. But they was like, I remember I was speaking to Tion Wayne and I was gassed to see him. He was just as gassed to see me because this guy had just come out of prison the 2 days before, so no one knew he was even out. So like when he's come out, he's just shelled the stage and he's just speaking to me. He's like, like your beats are hard. Like keep doing your thing, and then cool. I've come from there now. And then everyone from most of the people in the youth club was like, oh yeah, I'm trying to cut us get late. I'm thinking, nah. I want to, but these times it's crazy because my mum didn't even know I was there.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, because I was doing the producing thing behind her back sort of thing. Because that whole thing, I knew that it's like, in her head, it's like, if I go to Lovebox, she's probably going to think everyone's doing drugs behind the stage. She's mad. So I was like, cool, I went there. So in my head, I'm thinking, cool, I got to cut at a certain time. And bro, man's gone back at the artist section. Why am I shaking hands with Pharrell Williams?
No way.
Flipping whole of Wu-Tang Clan. I'm thinking, nah, this is crazy.
Hey, nah, that's mad.
I'm thinking, this is crazy. Then I think I spoke to LD from 6'7", like the whole of 6'7" Youngs, Teflon, K-Trap. I'm thinking, nah, this is mad.
As it gets late, obviously, and like
bro,
the bigger guests are coming.
Exactly. So Mabel was there. Like man was all taking pictures with Georgia Smith. I'm thinking, nah, this is crazy, bro. Yeah. I was like, this is mad. I'm thinking, nah, this is lit. Then that's when I was like, nah. You see, when I go home, I'm making the maddest beats. Cause like there was one beat that I made.
The beat Love Box that day.
Bro. The beats there was one beat that I played, and it was like some crazy mosh pit type beat or whatnot. So when I played it, everyone's going sort of crazy. Everyone's jumping. Yeah. I'm thinking, like this needs to be a normal thing. I want the same feeling every year, sort of thing. And it was like, oh man, like. I got home, and that's when I got rid of Audio Tool, because the engineer that was working at the youth club, he's like, bro, you got to move on to a software that's more serious, so you can do more on other softwares. So it's like you can jump on Logic or FL Studios. Yeah. And I had like a Windows laptop, so I said, you know what, let me jump on FL Studios, and then from there, I learned that within a week.
Swear down.
Because the software that I was using before, it was designed based on FL. Okay. So when I was learning FL, it wasn't that hard. It wasn't like I was learning from scratch, scratch.
Similar things and that.
Then I was literally just going on YouTube, just seeing the layout and how they're making beats. There was one time I just literally copied exactly what the person did, just so I know what is where. And then I was just like I was challenging myself, I was teaching myself, sort of thing, because I was like, alright, cool. I'm gonna try and figure out everything myself, and if I can't figure it out, then I'll Google it. So it was like I was really trying to get that slapper again.
100.
And then that's when it was like every year there was progress, or every 6 months there was progress. Something that happened within it's like, this is definitely. But after Love Box, I said, this is all I want to do. I want to make inspiration, innit? Yeah, and then just be able to be next to people that I've just seen are crazy. Yeah. So
that's mad. So that was a turning point. You was like, this 100%. Thing ain't a hobby no more. Man can turn this into a proper job and that. No, that makes sense though. And talk to me about traveling to New York. Yeah. Collaborating with New York artists. You spoke about it on the YouTube side. Yeah, you've been out there flying, seeing the studio with Fabio and viral. Say, talk to me about that.
Yeah, that was lit still. Because I got a shout out for That's Forever for that one, because they had like a producer camp. And it was sort of a thing where they was working on a project, and it's like, cool, we're gonna get all these producers in, and we're just all gonna work on beats or whatnot, and then we're gonna send them out for the project, because they want to get UK and artists to work with US artists on the project. So I think this was like this was the third one that they did. So I went to the second one, but the third one that they did, they said, we're gonna take a couple people out to New York. And whatnot, but I didn't get to go on that one. Yeah. So that one, it was Hargo, Ghosty, and JB that went as producers. So I saw them not go up, and then I never thought anything much of it. Yeah. With the next one, and then they was like, because they were on us to just cook up. So it was like, cool, he's making beats sort of thing, and then they would have this little joke. They was like, if you ain't making enough of beats, you're eating tissue, because we was sponsored by Nando's, so we was getting free food. So he was like, you ain't made enough. He was like, how much beats you made? 2 beats. You're eating tissue. You ain't getting nothing, and then whatnot. So, but you see me, I was on some different type of hunger. Hungry. There was one point where I didn't even sleep for 2 days. I was at the studio just making beats for 48 hours straight. And then literally the time that I went after the 48 hours, I went home, slept for 2 hours, and came back and did another 48 hours. Yeah. So it was and this is in between college as well. Yeah. So I'm doing college whilst doing these hours. And there was one point it went through the weekend, and it was like, alright, cool. The last day, and I was the first one there at the beginning of the week, and the last person to leave at the end of the week. And I've just grinded it out, so cool. Then out of nowhere, they was like, we're selecting another producer to come with us to New York, and then we're just gonna send in your beats and that you made throughout the week, and then we'll have a listen to it. Yeah. And they was Dots, you're coming with us, and this is on the Saturday, and they're leaving next week. on the Monday or something like that. So I'm getting raw. So I'm getting told that I'm leaving to go to New York on the Saturday. Like, this is all mad to me. I'm still in college. Like, so I'm thinking, but you see
a little excuse or not.
Not even that, but you know, I was calm because you see the way that I pattern college. I was like, I patterned all my work with college, and I was so blessed with my teacher to the point where even he knew that if I even cut to the different country, I'll still get my work done. Yeah. So I was ahead of my work. I for some reason in my head it was like just pattern your work because something's gonna happen. Like you're gonna get called for a big session or something. Like, I didn't know I was gonna get called to go to a different country, but I knew I was gonna get called to a session or something.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what, let me get ahead of my assignments from now. Then cool. Told my teacher about it, and he's like, yeah, like it makes sense for you to go to New York because. If you're not trying to go to uni, but you want to do music full time, why would I then tell you you can't go to New York to do something that you want to do after college sort of thing? So he was like, yeah, don't worry about it. Just make sure you get your assignment in on time.
Yeah.
I was in America doing my assignment on the plane whilst making beats. Landed in America. Touchdown. And it's like, I can't lie, it was a mad feeling because like the time that we landed, it was like sunset. So it's like in my head, I'm thinking I'm in a movie. Like, you know when you're like driving on the motorway and the sun's all setting, man's crossing the bridge now. I'm thinking, I feel like I'm in a movie. I can't believe
50,
bro.
Where's the Bronx? Where's Queens? Brooklyn?
Well, like, I couldn't believe it because I'm thinking like, bro, it was only like last week. Man was doing 48 hours in the studio.
Yeah.
Whilst doing college and my assignments, and now I'm in New York. Like in my head, it doesn't make sense in my head, but. Everyone was saying like it makes sense because like you're working hard. The work ethic is being proved like in your works and whatnot. And then I made the mistake of not sleeping on the airplane when we was going there. Because they was like,
he's
bro,
watching bare films.
Bro, they was like, sleep, trust me. We made the mistake last time. I was like, nah, I could pattern it. Don't worry. You see when I touched down, I was gonna be steady. Bro, I got there, it's like 8 o'clock. I'm in the hotel.
Crashed out.
I haven't even crashed. I'm still fighting. I'm saying, nah. Because you see me, I'm a bit stubborn in terms of like stuff like sleeping. I'm stubborn. If someone says I'm going to fall asleep, I'm saying, nah, I'm not going to fall asleep. I'm going to, trust me, I'm going to fight it.
I got this.
So cool, man fought it. And then I woke up the next day and cool, we've done the sessions, but the sessions are 12-hour sessions.
Okay.
So cool, I'm in the session now and it's gotten to like 7 hours in.
Yeah.
Bro, but luckily I'm in the corner of the studio, so not many people saw, man. And then cool, I think it was like coming up to the end. I'm still fighting. I'm saying, nah, I'm gonna fight this. I'm still panicking because the way we ran it is I'll play a beat and we had an engineer there, so I didn't have to do anything after I played the beat and he chose the beat. So I'm just there trying to. Like, you see me in the studio when someone's like writing sort of thing, I'm like trying to not get involved but make sure that energy is high so the best work sort of comes out.
100.
And then like Snubs, my guy in America, he's mad energetic. So I'm trying to match his energy with this jet lag that I've just had. I'm thinking, this is crazy. Then they was like, we told you he's gonna conk out, bro. I'm there at the laptop. I remember waking up and everyone's just standing around me. I'm like, damn, did I really just conk out?
Man got that in the studio.
Luckily, it was only for like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So again, I was the last person to leave the studio, and luckily the studio was only across the road from the hotel.
Okay. Yeah.
So I was blessed. And then, cool. That was the first day. The next day, I had Bino and Gino. So that's Fivio Throne's cousins.
Okay.
So I had to hit them the next day and whatnot. And then, guys come in some like diamond jeans, denim jacket and that. I'm thinking, right, cool. I'm saying, say that. And then he's got some like deep voice. Yeah. I'm thinking, okay. Then he's like, oh yeah. He's like, he said yo to me. And then like he's got mad energy. He's like, yeah, bro, I need a beat like it has to sound like mad gritty because I'm trying to do like a UK type of song.
Yeah.
And then like he's
on that pop smoky wave, innit?
But what he wanted to like make a song but use UK lingo. So like he was targeting the UK audience. So man's having to teach him UK lingo. And he's like, oh, so how do you say like bro in there? I was like, that's man there, innit?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, man, in it. I'm thinking like, this guy's killing me. He's like, and then he's like, oh, there was one time I was dying, because he must have watched. I think he must have watched like Peaky Blinders or something.
Oh,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
And he's like horror. I'm thinking, oh my days.
I hit you with the core blimey, you know.
I was like, this guy's hilarious. And then that day, and then cool. That same day, the way that we ran it, there was like a downstairs studio on one floor, and then on the next building on the upstairs there was another studio. So we was running 2 sessions at the same time, but there was me and JB downstairs, and then Ghosty and Hargo upstairs. And then cool, it got a bit techie because it was like the way that my managers patterned it at the time was they would have the Woo lot downstairs, but then have their ops literally next door, and they wouldn't even know that they're next door. Way. So I was like, some was like, bro, like you gotta pattern up. They're like, I'll tell you who to have it on this time, and because I respect you, I won't do anything like if you right as hair, like because I know that you lot are down here for business and you're not trying to get involved in none of that. So like you pattern us, letting us know who's who, whatnot. And then I think the 3rd day I had Bino, and then Fetty Luciano came, and Fetty Luciano is Rowdy Rebel's brother.
Okay.
So cool. He was like Bino was like, bro, like you like family. Like I know Fetty's big in that, so I'll try to get him on one of your beats. Yeah. So he must have played one beat, and it was like one bells on some drill thing. And I was like, yeah. They just played it, and he was like, oh, this is hard. This is hard. Then cool. Fetty's vibes into it. Goes in the studio, just shells it. I'm thinking, oh, snap, this is lit. Then what's even crazier is because they had girls come in now, and the way that they ran it was like cool. Like, you see with them, like it's like they'd have drink there and girls there, just so like, it feels like a party sort of thing. So once they've recorded or before when they're writing, they feel like they're the guy. They feel like, so when they go in the studio and they touch out, they have to perform sick. So Fetty's gone in there, smashed it, Bino smashed it, and then one of the guys just went in. And he was all right still. I wouldn't say he smashed it, but But then after they come out and they're playing the song now, and everyone's just
lit, innit?
It's lit.
Yeah, them girls ain't got no choice to get lit though.
Bro, like, but you know, it's like you want to know because you know what it is. You know what I'm saying? You know what's funny is like you see with the girls, it's like they were only there for the energy anyway. Because if they weren't there,
so like, they was on the payroll.
There's literally nothing for them to do there, innit?
Yeah.
But then, like, even then, now the girls were killing me because I was in the corner and they thought I was American until I spoke. Yeah. So I must like one of the girls, I forgot her name, but it's my G still. Like, nah, because I was speaking to her, but yeah, she was like, she's like, so what do? Are you the producer? I was like, yeah. She's like, what? Then as soon as I said I'm the producer and they heard my accent, everyone turned around. Like, bear in mind, like, say for example, I'm in the corner there, and there's everyone around me and they're facing outside. As soon as I heard that, I'm the producer, and they heard the accent, everyone turned around. You had one girl sitting next to my laptop saying, so where you from? Where you from? I was like, I'm from London. They're like, oh my God.
They love that.
I was like, oh, it's like every word that I say, they would get excited for. And then they was just asking me bare questions. It's like, then they was like trying to mimic the British accent. It was hilarious because it was so bad. Yeah, like,
bro, they love trying it, innit?
And then it was lit still. And then
what Fabio pulled up one day,
bro. Yeah, that day was kind of mad still because that wasn't even my session.
Oh, is it?
So that was Ghosty and Hargo's session.
Yeah.
And then me and JB was downstairs with Marley G. And then cool, me and Marley chopped it up. We got like 1 or 2 songs done, I think. Yeah. And then, because them lot are brethren, like Marley and them lot are brethren with Fivio and whatnot. Yeah. I was like, I'm going to go check them out upstairs, knowing that I ain't coming back down for a while. Yeah. So I was like, I'm going to go check these men upstairs, see what Ghosty and Hargo saying, because once I texted him, I was like, what's Fivio saying? They was like, Ghosty was vexed because Fivio was just so unbothered and unorganized. And then cool. I was like, you know what, let me see if I could go upstairs and pattern something. Went upstairs, there's bare man in the room. There's like 30 man inside.
Achilles.
Bare man. Bare man. So cool. Ghosty and Hargo must have ran a couple beats, but Fivio wasn't really feeling them. And then there was another 2 producers. So there was Skateaway. He's doing his thing.
Yeah.
He was there. He was running the beat, and there was another one there, but I can't remember his name. They was running the beat, and then Snubs' manager, Ro Hef.
Yeah.
He was like, "Oh, have you met Fivio yet?" I was like, "Nah, I haven't. Still, but then I must have went to the engineer at the same time. I was like, "Oh, I must have airdropped him a beat." I said, "Oh yeah, just run that real quick."
Yeah.
And it was a beat that I made literally in the hotel that morning. Played it, and then they're like, "Huh?"
No.
It hasn't even gotten to the drop yet. And Fivio's like, wheel it.
Yeah.
So then cool. Then they're like, Fivio's like, who made this beat? Then cool. Ro must have been like, oh yeah. Yeah. Ro must have been like, oh, he must have brought me. He's like, oh yeah, he's like, Fivio, this is the guy that made the beat. He's like, yeah, this beat is lit. Then he's like, yo, but he was off his head. Like, he was off his head. Like, at that point, he was able to speak to me, and then he was talking, and then it's just after that, it was like we'd be talking, and he's just gone for like
he's zoned out.
He's zoned out. But I only realized after that was because like there was bare man in the studio, but the only like when you're coming into the studio, the only way you can get in the studio is if you're with the people that's got the session.
Yeah.
And if you come in after, you gotta say, alright, cool, here you are, blah blah, is your name on the list, where's his hair?
Yeah.
So cool. There was one guy that does like YouTube reactions, and he must have came in at the same time that Fivio Foreign and them lot must have came in. But he's like works like he's a fan of like 22Gs and them.
Yeah.
So them two like have a bit of beef or whatnot.
Yeah.
So cool. He's in the studio now. This is whilst I'm playing the beat, and he's snapping the studio and put the location on.
Okay.
So now Fivio's like, that's why I thought he was off his head. And then Fivio's like just analysing the room, because this is like, bear in mind, this is like months after Fivio Foreign's passed. No, Pop Smoke's passed. So after Pop Smoke, it's Fivio Foreign. So it's like everyone's after Fivio Foreign sort of thing. And then so he was mad vigilant, mad vigilant. And he's like, he just cut out straight after. So I didn't even get him to record on my beat. But luckily his manager took my number or whatnot, and then they recorded the song again like months after. So like it's still lit, because that day I just took one snap. Bro, everyone from the end just messaging me. He's like, no way, you're inferior for it. No way. Like, like, they was like, yeah, you're clear. I'm thinking, bro, he didn't even record on the beat.
But still.
But it is what it is. I still met him, innit? You know what I heard? But yeah, like, that was lit still. And then I think the day after, we were supposed to have Smooth L and Lil TJ.
Okay,
But that session never got to happen. But yeah, it was still that studio. Just being at that studio there is a good look and an experience still.
Definitely.
But then like there was I think there was another day that I must have got to link up with my one of my family friends in New York. So he just brought us to like Times Square and whatnot. And that was hilarious. That was hilarious. You know what it is? It was me, Hargo, Ghosty, and one of my family friends. He was in New York, and it was like we was trying to find one store for Hargo, because he was looking for like cigarettes or something. In America they don't sell cigarettes. So he was like, what's that?
Roll up thing.
So we was asking one guy where to find like a smoke shop or whatever. And then like, he's telling us some long ass story or whatnot. These times we're like, you might as well just come with us, just show us where the shop is. Because he was standing there and he's just telling us about his baby. Like he was, I can't lie, he was hustling. Like New York, you see the Americans, them lot are hustlers. I can't lie. My man had his baby mum with the baby in McDonald's whilst he's outside trying to promote his music whilst selling weed. You get it? And then like, I didn't say, because I think someone must have bought weed from down the road, and they must have came to him and he's like, I just bought this, like, he's another British person. He's like, I just bought this for so-and-so, this, how much? But he was like, bro, you just got blunt, man. Like, he's like, nah, no, we gotta find out. So we end up having to follow him to then get to the shop after, so he can get my man's money back. So that he can sell him. I was like, nah, this guy's doing all of this with his baby mum inside McDonald's and that. Then after that, he was like, they was telling us a story and whatnot, and he's like, yeah, if you smoke this, you get smacked. That means like when they're like high or whatnot. I was like, this guy, like the American New York characters are just crazy. Like there's mad funny. But
in the UK, obviously, you work with like Frosty, Abracadabra, EP1, Rams. Who like out of those have been like your favorite? I guess not favorite, but
I think
one you like working with.
I think
what you're getting.
My favorite that I was completely mind blown was probably Abra.
Okay.
Because that session that I had with him, that I had the one with begging, flexing, and stressing. That session was so quick, but yet he produced like a banging song.
Yeah.
Because all that happened was it was a joint session or same building. There's Unknown T and then there's Abra.
Yeah.
So in one room you had like Ghosty, Chris Rich, and R14 and a couple other men.
Yeah.
And then Abra was in the other room, but no one was trying to link Abra for some reason. So I'm thinking like I just seen him walk in, so I thought, you know what, let me just go in there and see what he's saying. I walk in and he's like, oh, what, you got beats there? I was like, yeah. So I literally got my laptop, just ran one beat. The first beat is the one that he's like, yeah, this one.
Put down.
Like put it aside there. Then cool. Sat down for like 5 minutes, just listening to the beat. Then he's like, all right, cool. Call the engineer. Call him. Set up. This guy, he doesn't even write his bars.
Put it down. He just goes.
Everything. No, but everything. Like, it's like he writes it in his head.
Yeah.
So he'll go to the mic and say what he wants to say, and then if he wants to change it, he'll change it in his head and just. It's mad. Like,
it'll take you to do it though. Yeah.
Bro, when I'm seeing this guy, I'm thinking, how's this guy doing it?
Yeah. He's got to say over
sick,
and over again in your head.
But it's like, it was only for like 5 minutes because I've seen man write their own bars and still not know the bars after they record it. But him, he wrote a whole song in his head and then just went to the mic, said what he said, and then cool. Like if, say example, he'll say like a whole 4 bars, and then the last bar he'll say, "I cool, lad, run it again," and then just change the last part. And then just like after like half an hour, we had a song done. I was thinking. And he's like, oh yeah, I got a car, I got to go to do a cameo for a video shoot. I was like, say nothing. At least we got the song done. Yeah. Then a couple months after, I got asked for the stems. I'm thinking, this guy's hard. Yeah. And I was on like 1.8 million streams on that album.
Was a mad thing though.
I'm thinking,
the tape was hard as well. What about Rams? Because obviously his music that you making, that did you make the what's it called?
Bricks and Taco Circus.
That's different to what he was making
exactly.
Before. So what? When you played him that beat or you asked for that beat, was you shocked? Was you like, "Bro, what?
You know what? Again, like,
you sure?"
You know what? That was crazy because I had literally come back from New York that same day, and one of my guys, you know, AV, it was supposed to be his session.
Okay.
But he couldn't make it because he had uni or something like that.
All right.
So he said, you know what? Instead of just cancelling the whole session, why don't I send Rams to the session with the engineer and just send a message to the group chat just saying send beats to the engineer.
Yeah.
So in my head, I'm thinking, like Rams, like I don't really have beats for Rams, but I've got like this R&B drill type beat. Like, let me see what he's saying on it. Right? So I just literally just sent like 3 R&B drill beats, thinking, there's no way he's gonna touch it. But you know what? At least I sent something. Then I get a message at like 3 a.m. in the morning from Capri, the engineer. He's like, bro, Rams destroyed this beat, not gonna lie. I'm thinking, what? Yeah. Nah, this can't be real.
Sure? That's what I'm saying.
Rams. On that beat.
That new Rams, the rebrand Rams.
Bro.
He stops a couple bangers still.
Bro, that's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying?
So I was like, then after, remember, I've come back from New York.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to college. So I'm in the middle of a lesson. I'm getting a phone call. And he's like, oh, bro, I need to get in a session with you. I'm thinking, who's this? So Rams must have gave his brother my number. Yeah. And he's like, I'm like, Rams wants me to.
He must
come do a
me,
session.
innit?
So like I'm thinking, you know what, buddy, like I don't mind, like. So I went all the way to Croydon.
Yeah.
Done a session with him, and he's like, bro, that beat that you sent me yesterday was hard, like So he just invited me to do the session to see if the vibe was like still the same, like had the same sort of vibe. And I made another beat on the spot, and we got the same sort of result. And like since then, we've just got bare bangers together. We've basically got like a whole mixtape together, over like 12 songs together.
That's hard.
His new album is looking
serious. You know, I'm rating the Rams. But he came back on some smoke. But anything, I've got a little segment. You know, the guest. So I'm gonna play a couple seconds of the beats. They're quite easy. I like to think so because I know them, innit? I know the answers. So just tell me the producer. And if you can, the song in it.
I probably know the song, but
cool, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes I always play it and the tag comes. I'm like, cool.
Go see. Heady one, rose gold. Yeah.
Yeah. What did he do? Ghosty from the jump.
Yeah.
Say no more. Man, what you add me?
Mad. BK, Millions, Nairobi, yeah.
Hey, this was a slapper,
that
you know.
Beat is so brave. BK is another hard producer.
Yeah,
I can't lie,
100.
he's cold.
You say you're
so
doing
cold.
well. Ah, cool.
Oh.
Hey, come here.
Hey. Wait, that's V9's daily.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
V9's daily duffy, innit?
Yeah.
I swear that's Sweden, or not Sweden. Wait, I swear it is Sweden.
I don't know. Wait. It's
Or Mason or Sweden. One of them.
I see 256 Minaj or something like that.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Alright, cool. Last one. That beat is stupid as well, though.
Crazy. I remember listening to that.
That last one. Alright, cool. This is relatively new thing still.
Oh, Quangface.
Hey.
Wait, Quangface and Karma.
Yeah.
But who produced it?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't even listened to the song yet. That's the craziest part.
Nah, they done a mad thing on this beat still. It's JMK Beats.
I've never heard that producer.
Yeah, nah. It's hard. Well, he got the beat on YouTube, innit? So it might have been on YouTube too.
Let me see what you say.
That beat is hard still.
That beat was brilliant. I haven't even heard the song yet.
Yeah, no, listen to that still.
JMK
Beats.
Yeah.
Steady and ready.
Yeah,
I just want to say thank you for coming down. You know the vibes. You know
love having me, man.
Brandon in the back. Steady and ready. You know the vibes. What's it? Where can they find you? Yeah, socials and that.
LikkleDotzOTB on Instagram, LikkleDotzOTB on YouTube, LikkleDots on Twitter, and then
You know the vibes. Like, subscribe, do all them thing there.
Come on.
Eesh.